Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a Screenwriter's Rant on Moosa Jatt, which is a new movie. It's a Punjab movie. And it takes place in India, and I am not super familiar with all the provinces. I initially called every Indian movie I saw, oh, that came out of Bollywood, but I was corrected that there's a lot of provinces and a lot of movie industry over there. So I'm not sure which province this would come out of. These guys appear to be Sikh to me. Maybe they're not. I don't know. But this looks like a pretty badass movie about a guy named Moosa. And the funny thing is, he drives a tractor, a badass tractor, and he protects the farmers. And this was the only English translation I could find of it. And it's just that he's like a superhero who protects the farmers. And he is like this legendary figure who, he's like an action star. He's built like a tree. And look at him. Look at him. That's pretty badass. It looks kind of cool. I hope they have an English translation of this movie. I would totally see it. And it's not like, it looks like a more realistic action movie. Yeah, there's a little sped up stuff going on, and the stunts don't look totally out of whack. Like in some movies out of India, they are like crazy. Like people like spin in the air and kick people in the face like 40 times and then land on their feet. This looks more realistic than that. I think it's this was the only translation, and it's kind of like a general overview of the movie. Here he comes. He bursts through a wall to surprise these guys in his tractor, in his badass tractor. It looks cool. I would watch this movie. I like to watch foreign movies sometimes just for the cultural aspect of it, to find out. Now, this scene, he breaks this stick over the guy's shoulder, and it's obviously a breakaway stick, a breakaway prop, because they slow it down, which they probably shouldn't do. And then you could see, like, it just shatters into a million pieces, which, it wouldn't do. It would break, maybe, unless the thing was made of, like, cardboard. But see, and he's backlit by the tractor headlights. So he's Moosa from Mansa, which I assume is one of the towns, cities, and or provinces. Oh, here, they got a map here. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on in India regarding the farmers there. So there might be some actual background to this if you live in India. What the deal is? I assume it's India, right? I assume it's India. I don't speak any. I guess it would be for this Punjabi. I'm not sure. But I'm sure I'll get corrected in the comments. And people were very polite last time, and I'm trying to be. I tried to be a good scholar. I was Googling. This was the only English translation I could find. There was a longer version where I think his son is like playing with tractors and bragging about his dad, or bragging about the tractors he has. And then there are other scenes with, I guess their police force is the army. In the United States, we have a separation of that, right? We have the army, the military, and then we have the police, which are different. They're totally, there's some overlap, but basically they don't operate together. You're not supposed to, that was one of the rules that the founders put down. But in other countries, not quite the same. Sometimes they'll just send the military to solve the problems. And I think they have cops too, but there's way more overlap typically in other countries. I don't know the specific deal with India per se, but it's definitely him against the authority figures. And apparently it's fighting for the farmers. I'm not sure. There seems to be some sort of tractor theme throughout the movie, but not through the whole movie. It kind of turns into an action movie. Like the longer trail, the first part, it's all about the tractors, and then it sort of goes into the action part where there's a lot of guns and confrontations. Now, you don't actually see people get shot in the trailer, so I'm not sure how far they go with the violence. It feels like they don't go that far, like they don't actually show people shot. They may have a rule against it in India, I don't know. He's got an interesting look, the main character. He is. I think. I mean, he looks Sikh to me because that looks like the Sikhs I've seen in the United States. They have the turban. They sometimes have that mustache, and kind of like the roby sort of thing. But I don't know. Maybe not. And maybe someone can enlighten me into the confrontation here if it's based in an actual thing. I suspect it is. I mean, India is a pretty big country, a lot of people there. I'm sure they have conflict, and I know they've had conflict between, I guess it was the Hindus and the Muslims for a lot of years, and I know there's other organizations too, and I know the Sikhs are separate from that. So that's about my knowledge. But it looks like a cool movie that I would like to see if there's an English translation of it. So if anybody can tell me a little more about it, it comes out October 1st. If I had to break down the acts based on what I know, I would say the first act is all about happy farmer stuff. And then there's some sort of confrontation with the authority figures. Second act, it escalates throughout. He's forced to become like the hero that protects everybody. And in the third act, you get a big confrontation, and they win. There's a scene where his son, like, is in the. It's like a whole army. It's like an uprising towards the end. I think, but you know, I'm at a disadvantage here because I don't quite know the lay of the land. But it's called Moosa Jatt, and it looks neat. So somebody tell me more in the comments, and Joan and I will see you in the next one.